It's wonderful to have Sandeep Kumar with me here at India International Film Festival in Boston. Sandeep, pleasure having you with me, first of all.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure being here.
All right, so I came to know Sandeep when his film Maron created waves at the Indian International Film Festival in Goa, and from IIFFB Goa to uh, Film Festival in Boston, USA. Are you happy with the fabulous response that Maron has got so far?
Absolutely. When we started this journey, I couldn't anticipate that this going to have such a fabulous response. I mean, we started with IIFFB Goa with the world premiere last year, and then we went around the globe, and from Vancouver till Europe, and what I'm really amazed with is it's not just the response from the festivals with Indian diaspora, like this Indian International Film Festival of Boston, and other Indian festivals went to, but also like when we visited Kosovo, so that was the International Film Festival of Pristina, and won the Best Film Award over there, or in Italy at the prestigious Asti Film Festival. So that was totally just European festival. So I think if the film also resonates that well with a non-Indian audience, so that is really very, very, very touching. And the journey goes on. I mean, we are now almost 2 years after the world premiere in Goa, and festivals still want to have us for their opening as an opening film. So I mean, what more could you ask for?
Tell us about your experience of just sitting, of just standing in this I think fascinating hall right now. It's called Carey Hall in Boston. You're coming from Austria, and I think tradition is something which is very important in Austria as well. Do you find it fascinating to visit such inspiring places? That I'm sure that must be very inspiring for the artists within you.
Yeah, this is amazing. I mean, we are, I think, somewhere in Massachusetts, in a place called Lexington, in this hall, which is I think, over 200 years old. And for the IIFFB to have a festival and the closing ceremony in such a grandiose hall, it is really amazing, and it's overwhelming. And I'm so proud to be a part of this event. And I really have to say this was I was really very pleasantly surprised by the way this festival was managed, and it really surpassed all my expectations. And you get to meet a lot of people from from this part of the world, and see their passion for cinema, and the interest for our film. So that really connects. It's amazing to be here.
What do you have to say about Razia Mashkoor? And I think she's a huge admirer of yours, and she has been saying some amazing things about you. She has absolutely loved Maronissa, because somehow I think the context of the film is something that is very relatable for her, because somehow the cultural milieu and is somewhat similar to hers as well. What sort of interactions have you had with her, and what would you say about her entire passion for this festival?
Yeah, Razia has been like after me since almost a year to get Meronessa over here, and I was really impressed, actually taken aback first of all, and then impressed by her resilience to get the film over here. And then I felt that if she really wants to have that film, and if there's so much of interest and for the film, then I must really come here and present the film myself. And I was shooting till a week back, and then I just sat in a plane and came across. I think that she has set up it's a wonderful thing which she has set up. It's just the 5th year of the festival, and she has a great team. And what is amazing about it, it's all women's team, so it's like all women behind it, and each one of them is very passionate about what they're doing. So I think for a festival which is just in this 5th year to have something like this set up, and it's amazing. And they're trying so much. It's so different. Like they had their opening ceremony somewhere else with the opening film, then the films were staged somewhere else, and now this closing ceremony in this hall. And they're really taking so much care of us, and their hospitality is really heartfelt. And what's amazing is that they got the incredible Asha Parekh as a chief guest today. So I'm really looking forward to meeting her. And I think that just the fact that she's pulled off such a thing, sitting over here, is speaks for itself.
And what is your all-time favorite Asha Parekh film?
I must admit that I haven't seen so many films of hers, and but while I was researching for Meronissa, I mean, that's the essence of the film. Why I wrote Meronissa was to see where are all these yesteryear actresses who were so big in their time, and why are they not in doing cinema right now, or doing major roles right now. So so I researched that they're still around and they're in the 70s or the 80s, but they're not doing films right now. So when I got to know that Asha Parekh is going to come here, so I made it a point that I should at least research a bit and see some of her films. I could only manage to see one, which is Do Badan, which I saw just a couple of days before flying here. And I was amazed that it's a woman-centric film. She's carrying the film. She's with Manoj Kumar, I think, but she is carrying the film on her shoulders throughout. And I was really fascinated by that. And so that was one film which I saw. But then I was surprised to see that, or discover rather, that a lot of songs which I knew, they were her songs. Like 100 Saal Pehle, Ye Dil Bekarar Tha and all that. So we thought they are Devanand songs, but they are like, she's in them. And so I'm impressed. And in fact, I was asking on the way here, how many songs has she sung and whether you've heard all her songs. So she's done so many, I mean, that amount of work. Then I think I'll need some time when I get back after meeting her. I'll make it a point to see all of her songs and all of her films.
When I last spoke to you, it was with Farrokh Jafarji. And I think what a fascinating, individual, and I think her legacy will live on, and I think she's so fascinating. Do you miss her?
Oh, I do. I actually haven't even realized that she's no more, because wherever I go, wherever we take Mehrunissa, she's very much alive for me. She was a personality who was so charged and who loved film so much. She loved to be in front of the camera, and she's the type of person she was. You can never ever think that she's not there anymore. And I really feel that Bollywood, it's a big loss for Bollywood, because I would have loved to do many more films with her and experiment much more. And actually, frankly speaking, in my office, I have a huge poster of Mehrunissa, and I see her every day. And for me, she's everywhere around. Now she doesn't need a visa to come and watch the films. So wherever we do the screening, I feel her presence over there. And it's very difficult for me, and I think it'll take a long time to comprehend that she's no more. But I think her legacy goes on with Mehrunissa, and it will go on forever as long as the film is there and it's digital. So even after thousands of years, people will be watching Mehrunissa, and she'll be there.
I've had this unique experience that when I saw the film at IIFFB Goa, I wanted my mother to see it because she's from Lucknow as well, and I knew that she would find it fascinating because to retain that essence. And I did convince Sandeep that if he can arrange for some sort of screener, and he did. He was very kind enough to do it. And I think I'm sure it was a very, very pleasant experience for you as well, talking to her and just listening to her feedback. Do you in a way find it fascinating that you, someone who's been living in Austria for so many years, and you have touched a chord with people from Awadh who have lived in Lucknow, for example, for making something so authentic. Do you feel victorious in your own way? Because to get a context right, especially of someone so intricate, it's definitely not easy.
When you're making a film or you're writing a film, you never know whether you're going to get it right. My basic formula is that I need to have fun, and while writing it, I need to have some kind of emotions while writing it. I need to have some kind of fulfillment while I'm making it. And apart from that, I never think about whether you got it right or not. Maybe I got it right for some people, maybe not. But you only know when you've done the film. And I feel that I got it right because I've seen it 100 times, but I sit through all my screenings. So whenever they play, and I love and I enjoy watching each and every scene. And I am also, now that I have a bit of distance to the film, I also see different layers which were probably intended, not intended. I see different layers, and I, keep on discovering stuff in it. So I feel that if I haven't got bored of it after over 100 screenings, so it's fun to watch. And I really feel that, but it wasn't meant to break certain grounds, because I knew, first of all, I'm making a film in a region where I've never made a film before. I don't know that region. Then as a male, you're making a female-centric films of 3 generations. So you don't know whether you are ever going to get it right. But I think the main thing was that it was fun making it, And it was fun to be with Farooq Jafar and to be in that space. Even while making it, I was sitting behind the camera, an entire team, and we were in splits of laughters at times, or we were like shedding tears. I think that experience is like, invaluable. So whether we got it right or not, the very fact that I was privileged to do a film with her, that way I feel I got it right.
Sandeep, what are you doing next?
So we just finished shooting a film in Vienna, and it's a father-daughter story, and it's with an Indian actor, and the rest of the cast is all Austrian. And it's a very intense father-daughter story set up in Austria. It's in 3 languages. It's in German, Hindi, and Punjabi. And it's been a dream project as well, because I've been working on it for the last 10 years. And I always feel that I need to tell stories which can bring about some kind of a change. So that's the reason I became a filmmaker. So I think if we can do what we intend to do with that film, it's going to be it was a very fulfilling experience till now. And so as I think if I enjoy watching my films, then it's successful. So that's my mantra. And really looking forward to months of post-production, and at the same time carrying on the legacy of Meronissa forward. And I just enjoy being here at film festivals. I'm a film festival kind of I'm a movie buff. I like to see all the films when they're at film festivals. I just like to this was my dream, to be a filmmaker, and I feel that I'm so privileged that I'm standing here talking to you in a film festival at a closing ceremony. What else could I ask for? It's fabulous.
In fact, so people have been asking me this question, that you have made this move, this very bold move from Bollywood Hangama to Canada, and this and that, and I say that it's going to get bigger and better. And thankfully for the last 3 weeks, all my interviews, they have been making a lot of waves, and this guy has been one of the inspirations. If he can live in Austria and make films in Hindi and Urdu and Hindustani, for example, I think anyone can do anything right now. Geographical boundaries, they are inconsequential in today's day and age. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, certainly. I think if you have a dream, if you have intention, you can do anywhere, anytime, anywhere. You can create magic. Because it's not about being somewhere. It's inside you. So if you I'm a strong believer of you create your own experiences. So you don't. Of course, you can lay back, and something will happen to you, and compulsively you will be forced to have an experience, but you can consciously make your own experience. So you create your own experience, and you just try to do what you want to do. It doesn't make doesn't make a difference where you are. So sitting in Austria doing that, I never thought about it that it's a wrong place to do anything. Now the world is so connected. You can, I think it's more about the fire within. So if you have a fire within, and you are, you've moved from India to Canada, if you have the fire begin, you can fire up Canada from there and the whole world. So it's not about where you are, it's about what's inside you. So that is my biggest ambition, that this fire within me, it shouldn't subside. So I don't really care about how much of budget we have. I think we can make the same film for $10,000 or for 10 million or for 100 million. So it's the main thing is that the fire within you has to be there, and that's applicable for everything. As long as you have that push in you and you want to do something, you just go out and do it. And this being here in this festival is a great example of that.
You don't have to be in Aram Nagar to really be a filmmaker. You can do it anywhere. You can do it in Austria, the way Sandeep Kumar is doing it. And the important part is telling a story. And whenever I speak to him, there is a story. The way he talks as well, I think it's like telling a story, and element of storytelling is there. What is your approach to writing?
Well, I believe everybody has a story to tell, and I'm always looking for stories. And I feel 8 billion people around, they have at least 8 billion stories. But I feel that what's more important is the character. So for me, characterization. So stories are based on character. So the plot is, I'm not so much into creating a very complicated plot, but I feel that if I have a very strong characterization, if I understand the characters of the story, then I just write and I surprise myself, what is happening, what is the character doing. So I feel that if you know the character right from the birth till yesterday, then you know what the character is doing today. and that's very interesting. So the character could be just like, it could be you and what you're doing when you go out and just going down the road, and you could make an entire movie on that. So I feel characters is my, like, I love playing around with characters and like to also surprise myself. So I don't know how it's going to end. I didn't know how Mehrunissa is going to end. I don't think about this three, part structure, which is taught in so many things. I just believe in surprising myself, but I believe in, like, knowing characters. So that is what I feel. And I never thought I could write, stories, but I feel that is the most juiciest part of, because when you're writing, you're alone, you're writing on paper, budget is not an issue. You can change, you can take the destiny of the character in any way you want. And that is so amazing. And with Mehrunissa, it was like that. And also with the new film which I've done, I've, like, shed tears while writing.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So I think that is such a strong emotion. You write something and then you are in tears.
That's beautiful.
So that's very fulfilling.
What I really found very, very interesting about Mehrunissa, and I think that's very important. I think context of the film is the way you have incorporated the entire element of Urdu and Hindustani in the film. And so obviously you have a screenplay in mind, and I believe you write in English. But then to get someone to write those Urdu dialogues for you, and whoever has written it, I think they've done a great job of it. How important is it for you to have your screenplay turn into nice screenwriting in terms of dialogues? How important is that for you?
Well, dialogues have their own importance. My professor, Michael Haneke, he said dialogues are not so important. It's about the subcontext. So it's about the context, and what happens between the dialogues is equally important. But dialogues in terms for a film like Mehrunissa, they are very important because there are three different generations. You can't have all of them, the three generations, talking in high Urdu. So I of course wrote it in English, then I translated it into Hindi, and then we had a friend of mine, Anil Verma. He was, he's from Lucknow, and so I approached him, and I, wanted that it should be typical Awadhi, but at the same time, while Mehrunissa is talking in Urdu, the second generation, Yasmin, who's her daughter, and the third generation, they need to be more contemporary. They need to be like talking English, and use the modern day language. So it's not like, we weren't making a Shatranj ke khiladi. So it's a present day thing. So dialogues are very important, and especially when you have an actress like Farooq Jafar. Dialogues is her dialogue delivery, the way she has her own style. And she became epic with Peoply Life, Peedi Kidhar Hai, and she has some dialogues in our film too, which could become like that. So I think people really enjoy it. We had we had applauses over there, and people were enjoying it. They're enjoying it in Canada as well. So I think that way it's quite important.
One last question to you. Tell me something about your Shah Rukh Khan connection.
Shah Rukh, we were in school. My first two plays in school were with Shah Rukh Khan. So I can boast of having, being on the stage with him when he was not even a star and not even an actor. So we had first two plays when I was very small, and we had The Wizard of Oz. He was the wizard, and I was in his gang. And so that was a great connection. So I have photographs with him, and being in the Kamani Auditorium, sharing stage with him when we had no clue he's going to become a world star. So that's incredible. So that's a connection with Shah Rukh Khan.
That's all we have with Sandeep Kumar here at India International Film Festival in Boston. And thank you very much for talking to me. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. Thanks a lot. Thanks.